Welcome to Anti-Woke and Autistic, that made-up term by delusional people, in other words, fatphobic and fatphobia, strikes again. Listen to this delusional woman here. Her name is Maddie. This is from TikTok. TikTok fat acceptance cringe.
People on this app don't like to talk about it, or at least lots of people don't like to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it today, okay? If you're scared of being fat, you're fatphobic. It's in the fucking definition. I'm sorry to tell you. Just kidding. I'm not fucking sorry. For the first 20 years of my life, my biggest fucking fear was gaining weight. Okay? I spent so many years of my life freaking out over, gaining weight or not fitting in the same pair of pants or whatever. And anytime I would try and work out to be healthy, it was always because I wanted to lose weight. Weight loss culture, ED culture, diet culture, all of it is rooted in fat phobia because our country is rooted in fat phobia. And if people aren't ready for this conversation, then too bad.
Says who, Maddie? Says who? A little judgmental, aren't you?
Because our country is rooted in fat phobia.
Oh, so now the whole country is rooted in fat phobia. Says who? Cite your sources, cite the science, cite the proof. Hey, just because you chose to freak out when you didn't fit into clothes, just because you chose to get all worked up and bent out of shape and depressed and all this other stuff because you couldn't figure out a sensible, sustainable way of keeping excess weight off, don't you dare project your insecurities and your failures onto the millions of people who are on weight loss journeys. Who are you to declare what other people should do or shouldn't do? And you're definitely implying that. You're implying that anybody who wants to lose weight is fat phobic. You're being judgmental, Maddie. You're a hypocrite. You don't want people judging you for being fat, making assumptions and presumptions about you, like assuming that you're lazy and all you do is eat all day. You don't want people making those assumptions, but here you are making assumptions that the whole country of dieters or people who want to lose weight is fat phobic.
Our country is rooted in fat phobia. And if people aren't ready for this conversation, then too bad.
That last line of hers, if people aren't ready for this conversation, then too bad. And she also opens up the video saying something to that effect, words to that effect, if people don't want to have this conversation. Guess what, Maddie? And all of those of you in the fat acceptance cult who agree with her, lots of people who are anti-fat acceptance want this conversation. The problem is many fat acceptance influencers close off their comments because they're afraid of hearing the truth. They don't want opposing statements. They don't want opposing comments. They don't want the truth. They don't want something to shatter their encasement of denial. They don't want somebody to wake them up and shake them up and pull their head out of the clouds or pull their head out of the sand. So they shut down their comments. Sometimes they welcome new followers by invitation. Somebody somehow figures out a way to contact them and they open up the comment section to that person. But you'll notice that on Instagram, and I'm sure this is true on TikTok too, but I've noticed on Instagram, there are so many fat acceptance accounts where you can't comment. The people who don't want the conversation, the people who are afraid to have the conversation, the discussion, are the fat acceptance people themselves. So don't imply that everyone else is afraid of the conversation. We want it, but doggone it, just so many times I want to say something, I want to post a comment on some Instagrammer, and doggone it, the comment section is closed off because they don't want the conversation. They're afraid. They're discussion phobic. They're afraid, and they may know this consciously, or they may know this, it might be a subconscious thing going on, or deep down inside, let's put it that way. Deep down inside, they know that if they let all the comments and if they let their comments open to anybody, people are going to say things that are going to rattle them, shake them up, trigger them, shatter them, and make them realize that after all, they're not happy with their fat body. After all, they're actually disgusted with how they've harmed themselves by stuffing themselves with food and not moving much. Okay, there are some fat acceptance or body positivity women who are morbidly obese, but they hike, they power lift. Okay, they're out there, but they're far and few between. Most really don't do a whole lot of exercise, and they all overeat. You can't get to 300 pounds, let alone 400 pounds with restrictive eating. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. If it does, then you should donate your genetics to science so they could come up with a pill that people, starving skin and bones people in developing countries could take so that they won't die from starvation. Oh boy, that's a whole new video. But anyways, that's my video for today. Have an incredible day.